Hello, everybody. It is currently, what day is it? September 23rd, 2025, and I am impulsively recording a video that I'm just going to upload to the main channel because fuck it. Like, I'm trying not to care so much about what I upload anymore, at least. So, we're going to talk 5-sauce predictions. I should have done this earlier, but I was nervous, and also I didn't think that I was going to end up doing this, but you know what? Who cares? I was going to wait until the 5-sauce series was over. The Calm video is recorded, the 10-year anniversary video is recorded, but the 5-sauce 5 video is not recorded. But we're uploading out of order, I guess, at this point, because a new 5-sauce era is happening. For those who don't know, who are more casual fans who watch my channel, I think the two things I'm most known for are My Babysitter's a Vampire and 5-sauce, and both of those things are about to converge now, because for all of October I'm going to talk about My Babysitter's a Vampire, and right now I'm talking about 5-sauce. So, for those who don't know, is it 2 days ago already? Around 2 days ago, an Instagram account called The Diary of Six was released, and was clearly associated with 5-sauce, and specifically the website yourfavoriteboyband.com, which is a WordPress hosted website, which is funny. They're gonna do, I guess, whatever they want with at this point. And they give you a timer in the email for 2 days. So we waited 2 days. That 2 days is up now. And there was a cheeky little quiz you could take where you would like answer questions about your favorite boy band or whatever. And then this extremely cunty photo, here I'll put it up on the screen, of 5-sauce was included. All the members changed their avatars to, again, some very cunty photos. And after you took the quiz, you got this timer here. I'm going to show it on the screen. I don't know if it's going to... I don't want to get it in focus, so I'll just include a screenshot. But yeah, it says 5 seconds of summer is not okay. With a timer for, at the time of me recording this, 14 hours, 49 minutes, and 52 seconds. So, what does that mean? That means something's happening. And there was also there's a pre-save for Spotify and Apple Music. So I'm assuming that means new music is going to come once this timer is up. And I figured I have to talk about this and my predictions and my theories before this comes out. Okay, I just have to, because I've been talking about it with my friends of the podcast, famously Sal and Shy. We just got back from a camping trip. We recorded a bunch of fucking podcast episodes, and famously, we're all obsessed with 5-sauce, as well as being obsessed with Mbev. So, you know, I blame myself. I only have myself to blame because I've infected them with all of my special interests. But I mean, it's gone the other way as well, because they have infected me with a love for Gravity Falls, which we're reviewing right now. But anyways, yeah, I had to talk about predictions because I'm a lurker, famously. If 5-sauce were to ever do like a Taylor Swift, like, you know, find the biggest fans online and invite them to something, I'd get shafted because I don't really post about 5-sauce that much online, except for my YouTube videos, which maybe would count for something. I don't know. But yeah, I lurk a lot. I look at what everyone's saying and I talk about it in a group chat with my friends, but that's about it, right? But today I figured, since I'm making a series about 5-sauce, I should just, like, get my live reactions and include that in the 5-sauce video. Because I was like, well, I'll have to wait until I'm done with the 5-sauce 5 video to then get to talking about 5-sauce 6, this new era, which hasn't really been named yet. Although, you know, The Diary of Six and, you know, Your Favorite Boy Band are, like, kind of catchphrases they've been using so far. So they could be possible album titles. But, on top of all of that, I was like, well, no, if it's happening right now, I should actually get my reactions, because for all the previous eras, I don't have my reactions because I wasn't making YouTube videos when it was happening, but now I am, so I should just do it. So yeah, we're here to talk about predictions and everything. I'm so sorry to everybody who's like, I don't fucking care about you talking about music. I've seen how the videos do. People don't like it, but I don't care. It's my channel. I'll tank it if I want, talking about 5-sauce. Although I know there's some of the 5-sauce fam out there watching my channel, so I appreciate you guys. So yeah, let's talk about predictions. I wrote down some notes, very little, just some bullet points. I'm so frazzled today, y'all. Can I just say real quick? I just got back from class. This is why I look so disheveled. It's why I'm wearing my sweater that has been eaten alive by moths. Because I just got back from class. This is why I look so disheveled. It's why I'm wearing my sweater that has been eaten alive by moths. Because it's so fucking cold in the classroom. And it was specifically about John Milton. So here's my... God, it's so heavy. Here's my John Milton book. We're reading Paradise Lost. I'm reading it for the third time now for this class. And we started the discussion of it today with, so what is your guys' ideas on free will? And it's like... God, what a great way to start a class. So yeah, I just got back from doing 3 hours of that. So if I'm a bit frazzled and all over the place, that's why. But I'm very excited, okay? I'm excited and yeah. So anyway, my first thought process, now that we have visuals attached, which, can I say, are so good. I already called them cunty, because that's what they are. But we got some real glam going on here, right? And a tongue-in-cheek kind of reference to the fact that they're a boy band, right? How they hated the fact that they were called a boy band 10 years ago exactly, like in 2014, 2015, right? And now they're like calling upon that like Y2K boy band kind of almost aesthetic in a sense, and they're kind of calling on it and doing like what feels like an edgier version of it. We have Luke with the Liberty Spikes, which are so fucking cool. We got Michael with his red hair. Y'all don't even get me started on the solo projects. I can't. I will spiral. But Michael with his red hair, Callum with his blue hair. Again, don't get me started on the solo stuff. I will spiral. But yes, Callum with his blue hair, which is just, it's so good. And then Ashton in a see-through mesh top and a bolo tie. Bitch, you're speaking my language. So yes, that photo's released. We have their avatars that they've made for themselves, and it makes me feel both more confused and more certain about like my possible theories. So obviously the music is the most important thing. So that's what we're gonna focus on right now is, music-wise, what do we think is going to happen with Five Sauce, right? So there have been two main theories I've been kind of seeing. Oh, I forgot to mention, how they initially announced yourfavoriteboyband.com was through a bunch of posters, I think in Los Angeles. I'll have to check again. But yeah, they put a bunch of posters on a wall that said, your favorite boy band and stuff like that. And so here's my thoughts on the music, okay? So first of all, some people are saying this is ironic, that the usage of boy band is hinting at the fact that this is going to be a heavier album from them. And that is a good theory, but here's why I'm going to hold off on that theory for now. And that's because literally every single time Five Sauce since Youngblood, because Youngblood I already knew what it was going to be, because they announced it pretty quickly with the single, as far as I remember, because that was a weird time in my life, so I don't exactly remember so much about the album rollout for Youngblood, other than like the most popular stuff, right? But every album since Youngblood, so the two, so Calm and Five Sauce 5, I have thought, oh, this one's gonna be their heavy one. They're gonna go full like heavy music, very, very rock leaning, and then I let myself down because I put that precedent on them, which makes no sense, and it's fucking stupid, and I've evolved past it. Just because like all I expect from Five Sauce is good music at this point. I've stopped bothering trying to like project what I want in a band, what I want them to be, onto them, and just let them do what they do, because it's always good and genius. Like that is what that's kind of where I'm at right now, where I'm just willing to accept whatever they give to me because I'm grateful for it in the first place. So many people's favorite bands are broken up right now. I mean, my favorite band, My Chemical Romance, like I'm never gonna be able to see them live, but for the time that I was deeply like getting into them and getting obsessed with them, they were on like a 8-9 year hiatus or something like that. So like I'm grateful that I'm here and this is happening, okay? And that's all that matters to me. But however, and it's a good theory. It's a better theory than how they were previously, because for Calm it was like, well, they're going for this much darker, more edgy visuals, and they're leaning really into that like 90s grunge, industrial rock kind of vibe. So you'd think the music would sound like it, then you heard the album and it was like trendy pop bangers. And it's a great album for that. And I mean, all of the From the Vault tracks too kind of really trick you as well, because those From the Vault tracks do sound like that. They do have that industrial 90s sound, right? And then for 5 Sauce 5, it was the 2011, the song 2011. I was like, oh yeah, it's very possible, it might not be, but it's very possible that the whole album of 5 Sauce 5 is going to sound like 2011. And no, that was just me and my delusions, me and my math. And I'm glad that 5 Sauce 5 doesn't sound like that, because it sounds like 5 Sauce 5, which is their best album. Which is, I've come to terms with now that I'm working on scripting the 5 Sauce 5 video, because famously Sounds Good Feels Good was my favorite album of theirs for all these years. But I'm not going to hold expectations that this is going to be like some pop punk return, going to be some heavy, rock album, specifically because of possible or already essentially confirmed developments behind the scenes in terms of management. So it seems that 5 Sauce are now signed to a record label. They were signed to Capitol Records and then left at some point. I don't have my notes. My 5 Sauce notes are over there, and I don't want to get up to get them. So at some point, they were no longer signed to Capitol Records. I think once their contract ended, they just didn't renew it. And then for sure, I know for 5 Sauce 5, they technically released it independent and had all of the physical copies and stuff distributed by BMG. If I remember correctly, I could be wrong, so don't, take what I say with a grain of salt, okay? I can only be so much of a 5 Sauce stan, okay? I can only do so much saucing on the weekends. But they're now signed to Republic Records, which is a pretty big deal. They're a pretty big record label. I mean, famously, they have Taylor Swift, they have Olivia Rodrigo. A lot of really famous pop stars, right, are signed to Republic Records. So because of that is what's making me thinking that it's going to be the other theory of how the 5 Sauce album is going to sound is that it's going to be pop cunt. I don't know if that's a specific genre or no, this is what I'm leaning a lot more towards, is that it's going to be very pop, or trying to be a bombastic pop, if that makes sense. Because there's a lot more edge already present in the marketing that we did not see any of in 5 Sauce 5. They were very soft, very light, very pastel for the 5 Sauce 5 album rollout. I distinctly remember there being a tweet. I probably won't be able to find it, but there was a tweet at the time, because I was actually on Twitter back in 2021 and 2022, where someone said, "Good for 5 Sauce for being in their soft era, but I'm still gonna show up to the show looking like a goth bitch," or something like that, which was very true for me. I will slather on the eyeliner every day of the week. So I think this is leaning more towards, like I said, pop cunt. But when it comes to deep cuts, because I think 5 Sauce are very well known for having a very bombastic lead single, and then having the album be a little bit more, emotionally, developed. I think of Sounds Good Feels Good, which, again, this is math, this is me drinking the Kool-Aid or whatever, but I have a feeling that Sounds Good Feels Good might be a place of, inspiration in a sense. I'm not saying it's going to sound like that, because, again, they're signed to Republic Records. They're really pushing, they're doing all this promotional shit, right? So to me, that signals, something that they want to sell records. So something that would appeal more to the radio. That's how my thought process works, and that's not a bad thing. I want to say right away, they're not sellouts. Fuck anyone who thinks that because they make pop music and they're a band that I've gone to this discussion multiple times, and I will continue to do so, but I won't do so here. But that's my stance on it, okay? Is that it's okay if they want to search for commercial appeal. That's normal. That's a normal and fine thing to do, and people don't ostracize artists like Taylor Swift for doing it, so why would they ostracize 5 Sauce and say that their artistic intent is being diminished because they're looking for commercial success? I really was sipping some Kool-Aid during this recording session just a few hours ago. I want to clarify, they did ostracize Taylor Swift for this, and they still continue to. I think in general, this is a big thing that has to do with, artists who have primarily female fan bases, which is something I want to criticize 5 Sauce for. I'm going to mention it later, and I was going to insert this rant later, but I might as well just do it now. A big problem with their criticizing or dislike of the term boy band for them as a band clearly comes from the fact that it was because they had a primarily female fan base that was essentially inherited from One Direction in many ways, right? And the thing about that is that it is, I think, sexist. I will say sexist and not outright misogynistic, but it is definitely, it can be interpreted as misogynistic to dislike the fact that you're called a boy band because boy bands are associated with primarily female fan bases, and that is seen as something bad or wrong, which is why Taylor Swift has been ostracized so much. I didn't mean to mention her so much in this video, by the way. I guess it's just because she has an album coming out in a month, which is also another theory I want to mention. I definitely don't think the music is gonna come out this year. We're gonna probably get a single or something, but like, no one wants to compete with Taylor Swift, and they're signed to the same record label now. So I think it will clearly come out like in 2026. That's my current theory. But again, I could be wrong in 13 hours or whenever we finally get the reveal on what's going on. And so, just in general, I think them reclaiming the word boy band, which sounds so fucking silly when I say it out loud now, but essentially them, like, reclaiming the word boy band is, I think, an outright acceptance of their past and who they are and how they're seen in, you know, the pop culture world. Like, I think it's a good thing that they're okay with being called a boy band now, and essentially leaning into it, being very cheeky, tongue-in-cheek with, like, how they are sort of, like, interpreting boy bands, you know what I mean? I think it's fine. I quite like it. Okay, I didn't outright say if I liked, like, this direction of marketing, and I do. I think it's cute, and it's fun. When it comes to their, like, sound, I do think that, like, the lead singles are gonna be, like, bam, pop cunt in your face, and then the album's gonna have a little bit more introspection and maybe some softer tracks. And the reason why I'm thinking that, and this might be stereotypical of me, but was it already a year ago? I think already a year, either August or like in the summer of last year, they were famously recording in Nashville. That's when Lighter came out, which, hey, Lighter very, very much may possibly be like a sound, what's it called? A hint at what the sound is going to be. Maybe there'll be some more like EDM kind of sound or like electronic sound to this album in partially a similar way to what it was with Calm and like when they did that song with the Chainsmokers, which y'all know my opinion on already, I'm assuming, just by looking at me, or when you've heard my rants about pop music in the past. Not a big fan of the Chainsmokers personally, but, you know, whatever. Is it possible that, like, that Galantis, David Guetta sound might be a hint? I don't know. It might not be. It's very possible that it won't, but I do think for sure that because they were recording in Nashville, there's a possible country influence that could come into play, or if not country, like maybe Americana, you know, some sort of like more acoustic story leaning American sound in a way. And I say that purely because I saw them wearing cowboy hats, and I'm like, that's a hint to me. But and Five Sauce, as we can see here, they love laying down breadcrumbs. They just love leaving little hints. They have fun doing that, and the fans are not so rabid to where they haven't ruined it for everyone yet. But so, like with this whole your favorite boy band, you know, .com and all that, Instagram page. By the way, it hasn't really been confirmed that they've signed to Republic Records, but it's basically confirmed because the Diary of Six Instagram account is following 6 people, and it's the Five Sauce Instagram account, all 4 of the members, and then Republic Records. So, and also, like, only with the backing of a record label would they have all of this bullshit, you know, posters, and and they're doing a free live show tomorrow on the day I'm recording this. This will probably come out on the 24th, today, the day that this video is uploaded, they're doing a free live show in Los Angeles at, like, 5 p.m. or something, so it might not have happened yet by the time this video comes out, but, like, all of that kind of stuff is, like, that screams, like record label backing to me. So Yeah, those are some theories. Now, there's a little bit more theories that I have. Is it possible that there will be some heavy stuff? Because again, Five Sauce have kind of gone back and forth between doing like more cohesive albums where like every song kind of fits the general soundscape, and then other albums where it's very eclectic, very kind of all over the place, right? They've kind of done that before in the past, but while still sticking to a specific genre. And then also the fact that they've kind of remade themselves with every album, it really lends any of these theories I have completely like irrelevant to a certain degree. You know what I mean? Because I made a playlist on Spotify. I guess I'll link it if you want to check it out, of like possible theories for Five Sauce 6. But like as I was making this playlist of like what songs I think they'll like pull inspiration from, what I think it'll sound like, I'm like, every Five Sauce album has sounded different from the last. The only time you could maybe say that there was some similarities was Self-Titled and Sounds Good Feels Good. But even then, like, that was probably because Sounds Good Feels Good was written in 3 months, first of all. But like even then, Sounds Good Feels Good is so much more different. It's so much more, I mean, mature, obviously. But like the deep cuts are just they vary much more wildly than Self-Titled does. So like each album has been completely different and distinct. So like where am I, like, how am I expecting them to like do something similar to a different album or whatever but this one, right? So like it's kind of hard to look back in their discography and try and find what this album might be like. But however, again, I did mention Sounds Good Feels Good because that's kind of the era that they were probably the most pissed off about being seen as a boy band, right? Being a boy band, and were actively rejecting it. And I mean, they poked fun of it during their 10-year anniversary special thing, right? Like, I'll insert the clip, might as well.
Would you guys say you're a boy band or a real band?
Well, it used to bother us a lot when people would call us a boy band. But, you know, we were young and that was silly.
Yeah, I think, you know, just as long as we're making music that people feel like they can connect to and stuff like that, I feel like that's just what's most important.
Yeah, we don't mind. Call us whatever you want. It's about the music.
Love that attitude.
Yeah.
So, as a boy band...
What the fuck?
What did you call us?
Are you kidding my ass?
Again.
You think we're a fucking boy band?
A boy band.
That is basically exactly what every interview of theirs was like at that time. So I can see a world where like a similarity to Sounds Good Feels Good is represented in this new album with Five Sauce 6. And especially because now that we have some visuals, we have some photos of them, and they're glammed up. They got the glitter on their eyes. They got the eyeliner on. We got colored hair. We got, I think maybe they're trying, this is just something off the top of my dome, but like now I'm like really believing it, is that I wonder if they're attempting to kind of meld the two personalities finally, because Five Sauce, I've always said that they have two separate identities as a band. You know, they got one foot in the golden light, one foot in the gutter, right? They have themselves known as like the popular band, you know, who have all these pop hits, and then they have like the edgy pop punk band that they wanted to be when they were 14. And these two have never mixed, and they've always had to pick one or the other. And they tried to pick, you know, pop punk band that we wanted to be when we were 14, and it didn't serve them the way that like the record label and the higher ups and everything wanted it to be served. So then they went, okay, band that gets a lot of hits, and they've kind of been in that realm and maybe took a break from it for Five Sauce 5 to just genuinely release some good ass music. You know, maybe they cared about commercial appeal. They probably always do, but with this one, I feel like there might be an actual effort and desire to be like, these two things can coexist at the same time. We can make the rock music that we want to make while also having crossover appeal and being your favorite boy band. Obviously, with this whole boy band, you know, motif and stuff, I did get a very dark thought, and I thought about One Direction.
Callum, Luke,
Yep, that's me.
and Harry and Niall. All right, my apologies.
Obviously, the world's favorite boy band of our generation is One Direction, and they were always like the side piece. You know, they were on the side of that, right? Because they were like tangentially related to One Direction, which is the whole reason why they had the boy band label in the first place. If they had never associated with One Direction, I would 100% believe that questioning would have never even run through people's mind. So clearly they're referencing that, but I would argue, at least right now in the popular landscape, One Direction has kind of like a somber association with it because of the death of Liam Payne, right? Like that happened not that long. It hasn't even been a year, I'm pretty sure, since he passed. So like part of me is like, I really don't want people to take this like branding in that direction. I just think that this is a very negative, pessimistic angle that certain people, and I would assume a lot of journalists and stuff, kind of have about Five Sauce. But also, at the same time, they're the biggest band you never heard of, right? So I bet most people, most journalists, their thoughts are, oh yeah, they're still together, or oh hey, they reunited, interesting, right? I think, I didn't see it personally because, again, I'm not on Twitter, but one of my friends is, they keep up with it for me. And they said that, because Five Sauce, the first hint at this your favorite boy band statement was when they posted a TikTok of them together, and it was probably filmed like months ago. Man, they've been playing around with the timeline when it came to the shit they're uploading, but I'm fucking on it, y'all. You won't, not a thing will go past me. But they posted that TikTok with the caption "Your favorite boy band," and that was the first time we heard them say that, right? Now it's like really spiraled into like the whole media thing, right? Well, I think like Pop Crave or something was like Fifth Harmony and 5 Seconds of Summer have reunited, because that was like the same week that Fifth Harmony performed with the Jonas Brothers, and maybe that Twitter account knew something that we don't, because a week later Five Sauce performed with the Jonas Brothers, right? Oh, the Jonas Brothers are also signed to Republic Records, so there you go, signs. But yeah, you know, all of us fans were like, reunited? Pardon me. They never broke up, okay? But they're like playing into that. Like, oh, did Five Sauce break up? Like they have that one little visual that they put up, right, on their Instagram page, and also on when you did before getting here, I'll pull it up again. Before getting this, right? Before getting this, it would show like, did Five Sauce break up? Click here to find out. Like a very like, you know, scammy click here kind of reference point thing, right? Proof that like Five Sauce could lure me into a dungeon and I would just do it because I'm so much of a stan. They literally made a fake like scammy ad that like you would never click on, but I was like, well, Five Sauce did it. It literally they could have just downloaded horse porn onto my phone and I would have been like, whatever, because Five Sauce told me to. Embarrassing. I also give him my zip code. Like damn, personal privacy don't mean shit when it comes to Five Sauce for me, apparently. So I don't, like I said, I'm not gonna get my hopes up and assume that this is gonna be Five Sauce being edgy emo boys, because of that record label signing and all of the hoopla they're putting behind this. It would make me think that like they want to get their money back. And point blank, rock music just isn't where it's at anymore, okay? Like, Sleep Token and Pierce the Veil are probably the only artists who are, like, actually going to chart an actual rock song. Although, who knows? Again, I would love to be wrong. I'm just letting everyone know that I would love to be proven wrong on this situation. Please prove me wrong, Five Sauce, and you know, give us the big cunt hit, okay? That is so heavy and rock leaning, right? Well, the edgy imagery, as well as the fact that like both Callum and Michael are in their emo bag right now, specifically Michael. I finally gave in and I watched the live from the Michael Five Sauce live performance that was on Veeps. I watched it. Anyways, so they're at peak emo. Like I saw someone on Tumblr, because that's my main social media, as y'all know. I was on Tumblr and someone said something along the lines of like, I wonder what Five Sauce 6 is gonna be like. Five Sauce, Michael is in peak emo right now. I have no idea. And then I guess for my final thoughts, I'll discuss like maybe subject material. Obviously, right now we just have pop cunt as the the ethos for the album, right? We have the visuals that we've been given and stuff, and that seems very irreverent, very cheeky, right? The word cheeky just sounds so weird when I say it. I've been listening to some British podcasters lately, and they say that, and it sounds so cool. And when I say it, I sound like a fucking goblin. Cheeky. Gross. It does not sound good in an American accent. But anyways, I'm wondering if this album's gonna lean more positive or more negative. It's always a toss-up. Most Five Sauce albums have some depressing shit on them because they've been through it, to say the least. They've been through it. So it makes me wonder, is this going to be a Sauce negative or a Sauce positive album? Because, you know, like, Michael got married, Luke got married, they both had a kid, like, and Michael has another kid on the way. Like, those are some pretty fun, positive things that are happening in two of the four people's lives. I think both Ashton and Callan went through breakups, so it's like I just wonder if it's gonna be a 50-50 split, or they're not even gonna. I think there's gonna be some introspection on a Five Sauce album. They're too good of writers to just like write a bunch of bangers, you know, just like do you know, have any sort of introspection just be thrown to the side for like club hits or whatever. A Five Sauce club hit does not. It's very possible because, like I said, they could be leaning more electronic. They could be doing almost like a Charlie XCX, you know, Brat kind of thing. They could be like doing they've been working on this album since before Brat came out. So like, you know, obviously that wouldn't be like the reference point for them. But like it could be something like that where it's like Crying in the Club. You know, it very much could be that. But anyways, I'm not sure. I'm not going to definitively say whether I think it's going to be Sauce positive or Sauce negative. Because apparently in 14 hours we're getting a song. So I guess I'll have more thoughts once the song comes out. I'm going to upload this right away, and then maybe I'll upload another video about the song. Maybe I'll do a short. I don't know. Listen, I'm going to have to pause any Five Sauce discussion for the entire month of October because I have to talk about My Babysitter's a Vampire. I've already planned it. It's already in the schedule. Like, if I would have known, sorry, my neighbor probably hears me having a fucking freak out because they just walked past my window, which is the thinnest thing in the world. So they're like, this person's having a crash out. Because I'm having a Five Sauce crash out. It's real. But, you know I'm going through a crash out when I turn the camera on. That is a fact about me. I do that. But anyways, for the YouTube channel. Not in my real life. I don't have social media, as y'all know, so... But anyways, either way, I'm excited for what Five Sauce are going to do for this album. I'm very excited. I'm more excited to get some food because I haven't really eaten all day. And I'm super sweaty because I haven't even changed. It's cold outside, but it's hot in my room. And I haven't changed because I just ran in and set the camera up. So anyways, yeah, thanks for watching. Sorry for doing this. I already know that I lost subscribers uploading the MTV video, and I'm going to lose subscribers uploading this, but I'm too excited about Five Sauce 6. And I know a lot of you all are. So, yeah, with that, I'll see you next time. Peace. Bye-bye. I don't know.
Boy bands can dance.
Here we go again. He just can't let it go.
You think we can't dance? How deep is your love? Is it like the ocean?
Wow.
You know.
You ain't seen shit like this.